Trade wars were supposed to crush America's rivals and bring manufacturing roaring back home. Instead, the strategy is now backfiring across tourism, airlines, automotive supply chains, and even America's closest alliances. Canadian consumers are pulling billions out of the U.S. economy, courts are dismantling key tariff powers, and Germany is openly building economic partnerships that bypass Washington altogether. For automakers already struggling with rising costs and unstable supply chains, the warning signs are becoming impossible to ignore. Welcome back to your ultimate pit stop, Piston Pundit, and here are the major developments now reshaping the future of global industry and North American trade. Trump's tariff blueprint starts falling apart in court. One of the biggest blows to Trump's trade strategy did not come from Beijing, Ottawa, or Brussels. It came from inside the United States itself. The U.S. Court of International Trade ruled that the administration improperly used Section 122 tariff authority, creating a legal earthquake for manufacturers and suppliers already struggling with years of trade instability. For the automotive industry, this matters enormously because modern vehicle production depends on globally integrated supply chains. A single pickup truck can contain transmissions from Canada, semiconductors from Asia, aluminum from Europe, and battery materials sourced across multiple continents. The court argued that the law was originally designed for an outdated Bretton Woods financial system that no longer reflects today's floating global currencies. Judges also warned that allowing such broad interpretation could hand nearly unlimited tariff powers to future presidents. That constitutional concern may now weaken broader tariff enforcement moving forward. Ironically, after automakers spent billions restructuring factories and sourcing strategies to survive trade restrictions, the legal foundations behind many of those tariffs are now beginning to crack. But while courts are weakening tariff authority inside the United States, the economic backlash outside America is already accelerating much faster than many analysts expected. Canada's consumer revolt is hammering the U.S. economy. The economic fallout is no longer confined to courtrooms or trade negotiations. It is now spreading across airports, hotels, highways, restaurants, and tourism-heavy cities throughout the United States. Canadian travel to America reportedly fell by 21% during 2025, wiping out billions in spending from one of America's most dependable tourism markets. Airlines are already reacting aggressively. Air Transat eliminated all U.S. routes, while WestJet, Air Canada, and Flair Airlines sharply reduced capacity, removing hundreds of thousands of seats within months. For the automotive sector, the impact stretches far beyond vacations. Fewer travelers mean lower rental vehicle demand, weaker fuel sales, reduced rideshare activity, and softer transportation revenue overall. Niagara Falls has become a major warning sign as fewer Canadians cross the border. Even more concerning, many Canadians now view avoiding the U.S. as a long-term political and cultural decision rather than a temporary reaction. And this is exactly why stories like this matter far beyond politics. They directly affect the vehicles people buy, the factories that build them, and the future direction of the global auto industry. If you're enjoying these deeper automotive breakdowns, subscribe to Piston Pundit and turn on notifications so you never miss the next vehicle update and industry deep dive. But while America absorbs the economic shock from this boycott, Canada itself is already repositioning its economy for a very different future. Canada's economic reinvention is accelerating fast. While the United States deals with falling tourism revenue and trade uncertainty, Canada is rapidly reshaping its economy around diversification and long-term industrial resilience. Instead of folding under tariff pressure, Canadian consumers and businesses are redirecting spending toward domestic industries and alternative global partners. Travel patterns are shifting dramatically, with more Canadians vacationing locally or flying to destinations in Europe and Mexico instead of crossing into the United States. For the automotive industry, the bigger story is Canada's aggressive push into critical minerals, EV battery production, aerospace technology, and advanced manufacturing. Canada controls major reserves of nickel, lithium, and cobalt, resources that are absolutely essential for the future of electric vehicles and next-generation mobility systems. automakers closely follow stable investment environments, and Canada is increasingly positioning itself as a reliable long-term partner for global manufacturing expansion. But Canada is not the only ally moving toward diversification. Germany now appears ready to deepen those alternative partnerships even further. Germany's global partnership push, Sidelines Washington. Germany is now openly pursuing broader economic partnerships designed to reduce dependence on the United States, a move that would have sounded almost unthinkable only a few years ago. German Vice Chancellor Lars Klingbeil emphasized diversification, resilience, and protection from geopolitical pressure during recent meetings with Canadian leadership. For the automotive world, those comments carry enormous implications because global vehicle production relies heavily on stable access to raw materials, semiconductors, energy, and battery supply chains. The proposed cooperation network includes Canada, Australia, India, the United Kingdom, Indonesia, and South American Mercosur nations. Together, those regions hold massive manufacturing capabilities and critical resource reserves. European automakers like BMW, Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi cannot afford prolonged supply instability. Increasingly, global alliances are being built around industrial security rather than simple economic convenience. Ironically, the trade pressure designed to strengthen Washington's leverage may instead be accelerating international diversification away from it. And when you combine weakening tariff powers, collapsing tourism flows, and new global alliances, the result starts looking far bigger than a temporary trade dispute. Verdict: a trade war that triggered global realignment. What started as a tariff dispute is evolving into a much larger transformation involving tourism, manufacturing, supply chains, geopolitical alliances, and industrial investment. Courts are weakening broad tariff powers, Canada's boycott movement continues impacting American businesses, and longtime allies are now actively building alternative economic networks. For the automotive industry, this matters because vehicles sit at the center of modern global trade. Every assembly plant, EV battery facility, semiconductor supplier, and logistics corridor depends on predictable international cooperation. The biggest question is whether these changes are temporary political turbulence or the beginning of a permanent global shift. Once supply chains and investment flows relocate, reversing them becomes incredibly difficult. And if Canada and Europe continue expanding cooperation in batteries, AI, aerospace, and critical minerals, the balance of industrial influence could look very different by 2030. Do you think America can rebuild trust with its allies before these new partnerships become permanent? Could the automotive industry become the biggest battleground in this economic transformation? And which country do you think is positioning itself best for the future EV era? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to Piston Pundit and turn on notifications so you never miss the next vehicle update and automotive industry deep dive. Thanks for watching, and check out one of the videos on your screen right now for more automotive insight and global industry coverage.